Good afternoon, everyone. If I know my Leadership Tulsa groups, you will visit just to the last possible second. So I'll give you just a minute to move on in. Welcome, everyone. I am Wendy Thomas. I'm the Executive Director of Leadership Tulsa. Well, thank you. On behalf of the Leadership Tulsa Board, I want to welcome you to the second annual Good News Summit. This convening is where Tulsa's public, private, and nonprofit sector come together to recognize the good work, positive outcomes, and collaborations happening across and throughout Tulsa. Here we have a chance to connect community organizations and leaders, as well as create more momentum for good. For 45 years, Leadership Tulsa has worked to identify, develop, and connect diverse leaders who impact the community through service. We do this by helping to develop individuals and their knowledge of the city, its history, its opportunities and challenges, build their leadership skills, and build social capital, the connections between and across people that help make our community so much more strong. We now have more than half a dozen programs that help us do this, as well as an active alumni network, and I encourage you to visit our table in the lobby to learn more about our programs. Our members are out impacting the community for better, and thus we have a unique perspective on what is happening in the Tulsa community. When we embarked on last year's summit, we knew there was a story to be told that focused not on deficits, scarcity, and loss, but to purposely celebrate the good things happening in our community. We tapped into the power of positive psychology and asked the question, what is here to celebrate? And celebrate we did. 92% of last year's attendees left the summit feeling more optimistic about Tulsa than when they arrived. I can only imagine how high the people who must have already been who didn't feel more optimistic about Tulsa. From a 2018 participant, some of the great things happening in Tulsa I did not know about. Where news is so negative, it shifted perspective and made me prouder to be living in Tulsa. And speaking of news, our partner, the Tulsa World, launched a special good news section of their website at last year's summit, which they have kept up ever since. At the 2018 Good News Summit, the mayor's office announced a new initiative focused on engaging residents to solve difficult civic problems. And at the end of their presentation, they extended an invitation to summit attendees. Join us for the inaugural cohort of the City of Tulsa Civic Innovation Fellowship. This initial group of citizen problem solvers decided to tackle nuisance and code violation issues in Tulsa neighborhoods, creating new, more user-friendly systems of education, notification, and intervention. I'd say that's good news indeed. A nonprofit organization at the summit last year made a new connection that allowed them to deliver their program to 50 new Tulsa area youth in the summer of 2018. A company was inspired by the employee volunteerism models of one of our presenters to reach out and get advice about building their own employee volunteer program. 95% of attendees last year learned something new about Tulsa. 81% planned to take action based on what they learned and their experience. 75% made new connections. 74% said they learned something new about positive psychology that will impact their work and their life. It became clear that the Good News Summit wasn't just about feeling good, but also about doing good. According to the OU Hope Research Center, hope is the belief that the future will be better, and you have the power to make it so. It turns out that the Good News Summit is part of a growing movement across the United States to invest in strengths over challenges and hope over despair.